Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Today we will do the experiment number 14. This one we will create a complete network which contain DNS, SMTP, FTP and web server. SMTP, it is a mail server. It is the same experiment with you, but I changed the name from SMTP to mail server. So we have a switch that connected to all servers, and there are one PC, there are routers, and inside the router there are switch, two PCs. Okay, and we need to configure these PCs to see all these servers. Okay, and also they can send an email for between each other, so I will create an email account for each one. Okay, I do just a different one different issue that mail server, if instead of calling smtp.com, I change it to mail.com to keep it as the DNS for the email to make it easier for understanding. Okay, so let's do the experiment. First of all, we need to put the devices. Okay, so we need one switch. Okay, let's do it. Switch 2960. We need, so I add one switch. Okay, this is the first switch, and we need one router. I will use the standard one, the generic one, router BT, the same one. Okay, and we need three PCs. So one PC, and second PC, the third PC, PC 1 and 2 and 3. It is not important their numbers, okay, because we will configuring this. Okay, if you want to change the number, I think this is PC 0 and this is PC 1 and this is PC 2. You can change the BC based on their number, based on their IP. It is not important to concentrate on their name. You should concentrate about how to configure the routers, and I think we need here one switch also. Okay, so we will connect these two PCs to the switch. I think it's fast Ethernet 01, this one, and this one to fast Ethernet 02. And in this experiment, I think the port number, they are not important in the switch, because we need just to do the configuration that make these PCs connecting to the servers. So this one, he will connect to fast Ethernet 01. So I will connect this router, any port, whatever it is, okay, to port fast Ethernet 01 or 10, and the router, he connected through fast Ethernet 00 to port, any port, not important. Okay, and this PC, I'll connect this PC to the routers. We will do the needed configuration. Now I connected the whole network. We still need some servers. Server, you can find it at in devices. You can see the generic, and if you look the third one, you can see under it, it is server BT. So just one server, second server, the third server, we have fourth server. Okay, and so we have now four servers. The first one, I will change its name instead of here this name to DNS, to know that it is the DNS server. This one, the server, I change it to FTP. Okay, this one I will call it. Okay, we have DNS, we have FTP, we have SMTP. I will call it now mail server. Okay, so this is the mail server, and last one, he is the web server. We can have one server contain all these services, one server configured as DNS and as the FTP and mail server. It's not important, but now we will configure this network to have all these servers, and I must connect it as I said before. The port port number inside the switch is not important, so I connect the fast Ethernet to any port, because there is no virtual LAN. It's just he will work as just a normal switch. So just connect, or you can connect it based on the numbers in the experiment, but I think it's not important now. we use it as a normal switch, so no need to follow up the switch port. If we have VLAN trunks and other issues, we should interest about the port number. But for this experiment, I think the most one it is to make the connection. So now I create the network. So now I will put the IP address for each devices. Okay, I'll put the IP addresses for each devices so we can easily configure the device. So this one it will be 10.0.0.10 slash, and it is 255.0.0.0, so /8. I write it as with the subnet with the mask. So the DNS it is 10.0.2 slash 8. FTP server it is 10.0.0.5 slash 8. It is the mask. And the mail server it is for 10.0.0.4 slash 8. So I try to write the IP address for each port, okay, to make it easier to configure it. The web, we still need the web server. The web server it is 03 10.0.0.3 slash 8. All this network it is network number 10, so all this network should be number 10. Okay, so I configure, I put the IP address for each one. The IP address for the router, okay, he should take number of the number of belong to number 10, and in the experiment you can find it that it is 10.0.0.1 slash 8. And this port, the second port, it should belong to network, I think 192.168.1.1 slash 250 slash 24. So the first issues usually in the experiment, you try to write the port numbers and IP addresses, all needed things, so it should be easy for you to follow up the configuration. And BC1 it is 10, so I write this one 192.168.1.10 slash 24. The second network, this one 192.168.1. And I think the second BC or the third BC it is 11 slash 24. The mask 255.255.255.0. So I define everything, so now everything is okay. Now let's do the configuration. First of all, let's configure the routers. I will do the configuration for the router, then we will go to each devices and configure the device, the needed devices. Okay, so I will go to the router, CLI, then no. Okay, so let us see what's exists inside the routers. So enable config T, ops conf T. This time I hold the mouse with my hand. So I will just add the mic in the other hand. So I put the mic in, okay, so I'm now in the global configuration. So what should I do? Configure the both fast Ethernet port 00 and the second bus. So interface fast Ethernet 0/0, IP address 19.00, it is 10.0.0.1 255.0.0.0. the first one. No shutdown to turn it on. Okay, we finished the first port. Let's go to the second port. Interface fast Ethernet 1/0, IP address 192.168.1.1 and with subnet mask 24, so it is 255.255.255.0. So we configure now the second Ethernet, so no shutdown to turn it on. Okay, exit. We configure the both ports, and we need to configure the RIP protocol. Now I think no need for RIP protocol, but if you have more than one routers, more than one network connected, you need to configure the RIP protocol. But in this case I will configure the RIP protocol, okay, to make it clear if in case you use more than one router in any experiment. So router RIP network, the first network it is 10.0.0.0, the first one, and the second one it is 192.168.1.0, the second one, because it is 2/24 or 255.255.255.0. So we have two network only. So exit. So we configure the router, everything okay, Control Z, everything inside the router it's okay. So just write W is enough to make the right to do the configuration. So now the router now configure 100%. Okay, now let's configure the PC. Let's do configuration the PC. Let's go from this PC, then the one, then the last one. Go from one PC to another. Okay, you must be sure. Okay, first of all, before in configuring the PC, you must fill the whole information correctly. So let's go to the PC1. Okay, for PC1, the desktop IP configuration, the IP address, it's static one, so 192.168.1.10. Subnet mask, it is 255.255.255.0. It's 2024. The default gateway, it is the port for the router that connected to the net. It will be able to go. Let's see that this PC can go to this network, to the other network through the port fast Ethernet 1/0. So it is 192.168.1.1. And the DNS server, and look to the DNS server, it is 10.0.0.2. So you can write then the number or the URL in the URL, but till now we didn't configure the any name, so I will just put the numbers. It's more easier. You can write the name. You can see that in your slide. Okay, if you can the DNS, there is no name for it, but if assume that it is dns.com, you can, instead of writing the number, you can write its name. Okay, but we didn't configure it yet, so it's I think the best issue is to leave it okay as this as it is. Just put the number, and I think everything will work correctly. So just we finished the first one. Let's go to the next PC, desktop IP configuration. I'm now configured the second PC, so it's IP address 192.168.1.11 with subnet mask, default gateway 192.168.1.1 as we agree, and the DNS we agree that it is 10.0.0.2. So we configure the second PC. The third PC, let's go to the third PC or PC0. Click on it, desktop IP configuration. The IP address, it is 10.0.0.10. We can see it, and /8, it is 255.0.0.0. Gateway, let's look. The PC, he can out from this network through this router to out to other networks. So the gateway, it is the first port of the router, so it is 10.0.0.1. And the DNS, we now we know it is 10.0.0.2. So we configure all PCs now. All PCs now, they are configured well. So if you check, you can see that the PC that ping each other. Let's do it. Okay, I will use the simulator direct. I will take one packet from this PC to this PC. Again, let's refresh. Successfully. Okay, first time, because they didn't recognize each other first time. You know that protocol needs sometimes to recognize the connection. So if we try to bring this PC to other PC successfully, if you try to bring this PC to other PC successfully, okay, everything done is correctly till now. Okay, so let's go and configure now the DNS server. The first one, usually we do the DNS server. So I will go to the DNS server, click on it. In the DNS server, we will go to desktop again, IP configuration. Inside the IP configuration, I'm in the DNS server. Let's configure the IP address for the DNS. It is 10.0.0.2, subnet mask 255.0.0.0. Default gateway, again, it is 10.0.0.1 because it is the port that he will send to reach the other network. So 10.0.0.1, and the DNS, he is the DNS. So you usually write the same number, his number. So we configure all ports now. We configure the all addresses for the DNS. Okay, let's configure the FTP server again. FTP desktop IP configuration, and put the IP addresses. It is 10.0.0.15 mask FTP. I mean the FTP gateway 10.0.0.1. We agree that this is the default gateway for all computers, all devices inside here, and the DNS servers is 10.0.2. So we finished configuration the IP addresses for the FTP server. Again, close it. Let's go to the mail server. Again, desktop IP configuration. The mail server here's 10.0.4 with subnet mask with default gateway the same, and the DNS server again 10.0.0.2. So we configure all the servers here. We still have the web server. Click on it. Desktop IP configuration. The IP address is 10.0.0.3. Subnet mask default gateway 10.0.0.1, and DNS it is 10.0.0.2. So usually we go to all devices, give it its IP addresses. So now the devices, they can ping and see each other. So if you try to do ping from any devices, it will be successfully. Again, let's do it again. Successfully. So the computers can, now you can see that everything is done correctly. Sometimes it gives you fail because you need to wait sometimes to exchange all. Again, successfully. Okay, just in case if you didn't like to use the simulator, just go to the one PC and from command prompt ping any PCs, ping, or any server, ping 10.0.0.5. Let's assume this one. Okay, you can see they can be any PC. Go to this PC, ping any server. Let's ping the DNS server, ping 10.0.0.2. Okay, so wait, he will ping correctly 100%. You can see everything is okay till now. Okay, so all computers now they can see each other, but we didn't configure the services till now. Okay, so let's go to the DNS server. Inside the DNS server, we need to store a name for each server. We agree that the first server, we have 3 servers. We have web server, we have mail server, we have FTP server. Okay, so we need to configure inside the DNS, the first one, the second one, the third one. So web server and mail.com and FTP server.com. So let's go and configure the DNS. Inside DNS server, you'll go to services. Inside services, you can see all services exist in there. If you have a newer an old version, sometimes you will not find the service. You will find it under the configure. You can find the services here. If you have an old version of packet tracer. But if you have more than six and above, you can find a tab for services. So this server, he is a DNS server, so I'll go to DNS. We have DNS services. It is off. To make the server work as DNS, you must turn it on. Okay, but I will do it in the last issues. Okay, and inside the name you can write the name. Let's assume google.com, and then in the address you will write the address. So if you write google.com, he will go to that address. So what addresses we have? We have www.webserver.com. If we write, let's assume that any user asks webserver.com, where he will go? The web server, we know that the web server, it is 10.0.0.3, so 10.0.0.3. So, and keep it as a record. And so anyone who asks for www.webserver.com, he will forward to 10.0.0.3. And the second one, it is the mail server. It is, I change it to mail.com. You can see the Word file. I change it SMTP server to mail.com. So I write mail.com. Mail.com, and the IP address is for the mail server. Okay, it is 10.0.0.4. Okay, and add. The last one, it is FTP server. So www.ftpserver.com, and the address of FTP, it is 10.0.0.5. Okay, add. In case if you need to update any one of these names, you can just click on any one. You can see, then you can make the change and write save, because if you add, it will add as a new server. But if you write save, it will make the modification. It will do the modification, done modification. Okay, so we created everything, so now it's okay. So let's turn the DNS on. Now the DNS will work correctly. So let's try. If we go to any PC, assume we want to ping from command, let's ping the mail server, mail.com. So let's see, it's correctly run, and he forward to 10.0.0.4. Ping web server.com. We name it not web server, we name it as www. You must write it in correct way. Okay, so you can see he will forward it to 10.0.0.3. Go to the DNS, go to the services, to the DNS services. If you make it off, look what we'll see. From this PC, ping, let's ping the mail server. You notice that he didn't recognize mailserver.com because there is no DNS. Go to the DNS. You can see there is no answer. Okay, go to the DNS. Go to DNS services. Make it available again. Exit. Go to the PC. Control C. I'll ask it again now. Okay, you can see it is now answered. So we know the services of DNS, and the DNS now, the DNS, it's work 100% correctly. So let's go to the FTP. Let's configure the FTP. The FTP. Okay, the FTP. If you need to go to FTP, you go to FTP server. You must go to the services. From the services, you can find in the last one, it is FTP. Go to it. Enable or disable the FTP server. If you make it off, the FTP services will not be available now. You must turn it on, and you can see that we have one FTP server, one user. It is named Cisco, and the password for it is Cisco. And this is the permissions. He has write, read, delete, rename, list. Read, write, delete, and rename in, and L for list. Let's assume I need to create a user. Let's assume MOH, and the password, let's have the password ABC. I have one user called MOH and ABC. I want to read, write, and rename and list permission without delete. And after, just put the name, specify the password, specify the permission, then add. I have a user that have the following permissions. If you need to modify it, just click on any name, and this again you can see the name, the password, everything. Let's assume that I don't want to rename. You can see, okay, then just save. You can see that it's modified. If you need to add, it will add a new user if you like, but you must have different name and different password for that, at least different name. So now we FTP, it's work correctly. Exit. Let's go to NBC and let's go to the FTP server. From FTP server, you can go to command prompt to look to the FTP server. I think everyone know that you should write FTP and the IP or the name of the server. So FTP, we here 10.0.0.5, the name, or the we know that FTP server, it is called www.ftp.com. So I can write FTP space www.ftpserver.com, or I should write the IP address of the server. You can see he asked me welcome, the name MOH, okay, the password ABC. You can see I can log directly to the FTP server. Okay, so it is on. Now I can create or do whatever I want from FTP commands. Okay, in this experiment, no need to do any FTP command. Just log to it. You must be able to log to it. Okay, so let's go from this PC. Let's go from this PC and log to the FTP server. Okay, again FTP. Instead of writing the IP address, I will write www.ftpserver.com. Okay, enter. He asked me that I should write MMM, wrong name. You can see that he refused. Let's again MOH, the password ABC, enter. I log to FTP. Quit to exit the FTP command. Okay, so now we use the services of FTP. We create the DNS, we create the FTP server, and all PCs can access the DNS server and access the FTP server. Let's go to the web server. We will go to the web server, click on it. Inside in services tab, go to HTTP. HTTP, it is for web servicing. You can see that we have two protocols: HTTP for standard web and for HTTPS for secure web. You must turn both of them on. Otherwise, like if you write www.google.com, you should write usually the full URL. It is http www.google.com. He will use the standard one, but if you write https www.google.com, he will go through the secure connections. So you can enable both of them, or you can turn it off, both of them, so the web services will not be available. So I will make it available on the most important thing is that you can see that index.html. It is the first page. If you write the name of the server, usually you look to this page, you will see this page. So you can write edit. You can see that there's a text. It is in HTML, and I think most of us know how to program HTML. But for this case, because some of us they didn't know how to write HTML code, I'll go to open, enter. I'll write my name. Just to show to you that we use this server, not other server. Okay, so I write my name. Okay, after I must save. I modify the HTML code. It is not a request from you to modify the HTML, but in case if you need, you can just add this. Anything you add, it will be shown in if you request this web, the server page. Okay, save, yes, overwrite. So he store it. So I will return again HTTP. So now it is available. Let's go and test if the web server is available or not. So I will go to any PC, whatever any PC. I will go to PC 0. You can go to a web browser and you can ask for web server. www dot, we call it web server.com, webserver.com. Then go, you can see, and you can see my name. Okay, let's go from other PC. I will go from this PC this time. From command web browser, I write www.webserver.com. You should write www because we start in the DNS www.webserver. You cannot write webserver.com. You should write the same name that enter in the DNS. So, okay, you can see we can log to the server. And if you like, you can, instead of using the DNS, you can write the IP address 10.0.0.3 in the web server. If you write the the IP addresses, he will go directly to that web server. He will not use the DNS. Okay, in case if you didn't have a DNS, you can write the IP address directly, because the DNS, he changed the name to the IP addresses. The IP address go to the PC, then he will request using the IP addresses. So you can just write that. You can see that here we use HTTP in this example. Okay, let's go to the web server and services HTTP. Let's turn it off. Now we turn the web services off. So can we reach the server? Let's again www.webserver.com. Go. You can see there is no answer. After a while, he will give an error. Okay, you can see nothing. Go, nothing. So let's go to the web server reset connection. Nothing happened. So let's go to the server, web services, and turn it on. We turn both protocols now. Okay, exit. Let's go to any PC. Again, go. You can see it's work. So web services now, it is available and work 100%. Okay, let's go to the DNS, to the mail server. I will go to the mail server and services. I will go to email. You can see this is an email service. Okay, so the domain, the domain, it is the name after the email, after at. So our email, it is, let's assume that we have KFU. My name, my email, Muhammad. So muhammad@kfu.com. So if I write KFU, let's assume this one, okay, KFU.com. So if I write user Saeed, he will be Saeed@kfu.com. Ahmad@kfu.com. Khalil@kfu.com. So this is the domain name. Usually the email at the domain. So I will name this one as requested mail.com. So and I set the domain, I name the domain as mail.com. So I will modify our first one, Muhammad, MOH, the password I will use 123. Okay, then in the plus add, so he will add Muhammad. Now I have Muhammad, and the email, the complete email address is muhammad@mail.com. Let's add another one, Sami, and I will write the password. I will choose the same password because I usually forget the password. Okay, so 123 again. I have two users. Let's add the user Ahmad, and the password I will write 123 again. You can choose whatever a password. If you need to modify anyone, just click on it, change the name or change the header, and then change. If you want to delete anyone, minus or delete if you have. If you need to change the password, just click on change, and you'll be able to change the password. Just select, and you can see I can change any one of them. Okay, so don't forget, you need to enable the both protocol, POP3 protocol and SMTP protocol. Usually we use POP3 protocol if we have just a programs that we need to download the emails on it, like Outlook. Usually you can log offline. You can go to Outlook offline, and when you online, it will download the whole emails to your account, to your Outlook in your programs. This is we use POP3 protocol. But for SMTP protocol, usually you must go to the web server and from that web server you must go and enter username and password from the web. I like you will go to a university site, press on the mail in the email icon, okay, then you can enter username from the site. They usually use SMTP services, but if you configure your email through the Outlook, it is use the POP3 protocols. This is the difference between them. So just make sure that it is on. You can turn it off, both of them, okay, if you like. Okay, I configure it now. Okay, exit. I configure the mail server. Now I need to configure emails for each one. This assume I will put this watch, and this one he should have Sami, and this one I give him Ahmed. Okay, so I will configure the email server for each PC to have the same. So let's go to Muhammad MOH. From MOH we will again I will go to the PC to the email services. Okay, so in the email services you should write name. I told this is Muhammad. Okay, so I will call this is Muhammad Gawanim email. It is a full name or whatever you like. You should name, you give the email address is a name. Okay, this, so I give him Muhammad Gawanim. For I use MOH, but this is my full name. Email, it is moh@mail.com. The username at, then the domain. Yes, and we call it domain. You can see that it is mail.com. And okay, so and make sure that mail.com it is exists in the DNS. Because of that I change it to mail.com, because otherwise you need to add SMTP and mail server, but I corrected now. Okay, for incoming mail, the mail server you must write the name of the mail server. So mail server it is named mail.com, or you can write the IP addresses. I will write the IP addresses. So 10.0.0.4, this is the IP address for the mail. We use it for incoming and outgoing. So I will write. Okay, for incoming and incoming the same IP addresses, or you can write mail.com, the name. Make sure if you write the name that it is exists in the DNS, and the DNS we enter mail.com for the web server, for the mail server. Okay, so the username for it is MOH, and the password we put 1, 2, and 3. Okay, after that you can save. If you make anything wrong or you want, you can write clear to clear our fields and enter it again, or reset to reset all emails account. Okay, so I have an email. Okay, you can close it. Let's configure the second PC. Okay, so I'll go from mail. Okay, this is Sami Abdullah مثلا. It is just a name for it. Email it is sami@mail.com. Incoming, this time I can use the numbers. Okay, it is 10004, or I can write mail.com. But if you write mail.com, make sure, okay, if you want to use the name, okay, make sure that the mail.com exists in the DNS, and BC2, okay, he should have DNS. You must configure the DNS in so I will show it to you, where it should exist. Okay, name it is Sami, and the password it is 1, 2, and 3. Yes, so after that just save. Okay, now we configure it. Okay, look, I configured this email. You can go for look, I configured the BC. Again, I will go to BC, this one. Okay, to see the configuration, you can go desktop, mail. You can see I'm in the mail, and you can still go to mail configuration to do to change the configuration. But I will not change it. But I would this time I use name. Yes, so make sure in the IP configuration, desktop IP configuration, that DNS it is exists. There is a number for DNS, otherwise he will not recognize the name. And make sure that DNS also contain the mail.com. It contains the name that you are already. So everything till now is okay. Let's go to the third one. Okay, so I'll go to mail, name. let's name Ahmad. Let's ban. Let's email Ahmad at mail.com. Mail server, I'll write this time 004. Okay, again the same, the incoming and outgoing, the mail that we use to send or to receive, it is the same one, and the name it is Ahmad, and you should write the password. Okay, so we configure all of them. Now let's check if this PC can send each email to each other. So I will go to PC1 email, this is PC1, and I will open PC2 Ahmad mail, this is the second PC. So I have two PCs now, PC1, and you can see I have BC1 and BC0. Okay, let's BC1, let's send an email compose to Ahmad. Yes, Ahmad at mail.com, and this test. Okay, and this is the subject. I write anything, and I send this email to Ahmad. This is email successfully sent. You can see that the other email you didn't see anything. To receive an email, you must press receive. I think I sent it to myself. Okay. Okay. Again, let's do it, but I didn't organize whole PC. BC1 it is MOH. So again, BC1 it is MOH, and BC0 it is Ahmad. So PC0 it is Ahmad. Again, okay. Oops. Okay, we still need PC0. So this is Ahmad, this is MOH. So I will send to Ahmad again. 10004, everything is okay. Compose Ahmad at mail.com, message this hello, and you can write anything. Okay, mail.com, everything is okay. Okay, so it is already sent it. Let's receive. You can see that I receive a message from MOH, it is hello. Okay, let's click on it. Okay, you can see, click on it, you can see the message, or double click on it, you can see I have a message from Ahmad. So let's send a reply. Let's send, okay, what you send me, and reply. Let's see. Okay, look, received, there is nothing. Let's delete this one. Okay, there is nothing. You can see I press on it, there is nothing. Okay, I will write send or reply, then I write receive. You can see I have a reply message from Ahmad. So everything is worked correctly. Let's go send a message to another PC. Let's send from MOH to Sami. So compose to, instead of Ahmad I write to Sami. Okay, text to Sami, anything you like. Okay, just whatever you like. Send. I send a message to Sami. You see there is nothing received. Okay, I will close it. I will go to Sami. Oops. I go to email. Then you can see there is nothing. Just press on receive. You can see I receive message from MOH to it is from Sami. Okay, so I hope everyone understand it, and I think it's very easy experiment. You need just to focus on giving the correct IP addresses and putting the correct information inside each server. Inshallah, everyone understand this experiment, and inshallah there is no complaint, or everyone understand it correctly 100%. Okay.